The rain fell in thick silver sheets that morning, turning the quiet roadside into a blur of trembling reflection. But nothing could blur the exhaustion on Rowan Hale's face as he drove his battered red SUV through the downpour. He had been awake since 4 a.m., rushing between 2 part-time jobs, holding together a life that always seemed one crack away from shattering. But even through the storm-washed windshield, he saw her, a woman kneeling beside a sleek car, soaked to the bone, struggling with a flat tire. Something in the way she was gripping the wrench, determined yet shivering, made Rowan's heart tighten. He didn't know her name, her story, or the world she came from. He only knew one thing: she needed help. And despite his own brokenness, despite the 1,000 problems waiting for him, Rowan stopped. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, fate, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Heartbeat Tales. It truly helps stories like this reach more hearts. The woman looked up at him through wet strands of hair plastered to her face. Her red outfit was drenched, clinging to her shivering frame, and her eyes carried a spark of frustration mixed with pride. She was clearly used to handling things alone. Rowan reached out a hand, not expecting her to take it, only offering steady presence under the pouring sky. She hesitated, then exhaled and allowed him to take over the stubborn tire. The tools slid in his wet hands. The cold bit his skin, and the mud splashed onto his clothes, but he worked with patience and quiet strength. She watched him, speechless, almost studying him. When the tire was fixed, she tried to insist on giving him money, but Rowan shook his head, saying only that kindness wasn't something to be bought or measured. It was something you gave because you wished someone would give it to you when you needed it most. What Rowan didn't know was that her name was Judge Maren Voss, a woman whose courtroom decision shaped the lives of hundreds. What he didn't know was that in 24 hours she would be the one sitting above him in judgment as he fought for the custody of his 6-year-old son, Colin. And what Maren didn't know was that the man who had knelt in the rain for her was the same man whose case file she had read late in the previous night, the single father accused by his ex-wife of being unfit, unstable, and incapable of providing a proper home. Rowan drove away after making sure she was safe, unaware that she remained standing in the rain long after he left, stunned by how a stranger who had nothing still managed to give so much. The next morning, Rowan arrived at the courthouse wearing the only pressed shirt he owned, his hands trembling as he clutched the frayed documents proving his efforts to care for Colin. His son deserved stability, deserved love, deserved better than the chaos Rowan had grown up in. Losing him was not an option. But when he walked into the courtroom and saw Judge Maren seated at the bench, his breath left his body. He recognized her instantly, and she recognized him. Her eyes widened ever so slightly, but professionalism masked everything else. The hearing began, filled with accusations from his ex-wife's lawyer, claims that Rowan's financial struggle equaled irresponsibility, that his long work hours meant neglect, that his small apartment wasn't adequate. Rowan felt the weight of the world pressing on his chest. He spoke honestly, admitting his struggles, but emphasizing the love and stability he fought to build every single day. He talked about packing lunches before sunrise, reading bedtime stories even after exhausting shifts, teaching Colin how to be gentle and brave. He wasn't perfect, he was simply trying endlessly. Maren listened with an intensity that unsettled everyone in the room, though none understood why. She had seen countless parents plead their cases, but something in Rowan's voice, something in the memory of his rain-drenched hands fixing her tire without expecting anything in return, struck a deeper chord. For the first time in years, she felt the weight of humanity beneath the robe she wore. When she finally delivered her decision, the courtroom went silent. She granted Rowan primary custody, stating that love, consistency, and character carried more weight than money or appearances. Rowan couldn't speak. His knees shook, and his vision blurred as relief washed over him like the rain from the day before. As the room emptied, Maren paused, meeting his gaze with a soft nod, one that held unspoken gratitude and recognition. She owed him nothing by law, but she remembered the man in the storm who knelt without expecting praise, and she knew she had made the right choice. And Rowan, still unaware of the full miracle that had unfolded, held Colin later that afternoon, with tears slipping down his cheeks, whispering promises of better days. His kindness, given freely on a roadside, had circled back in the most unexpected way. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, Comment, share, and subscribe to Heartbeat Tales. Your support helps keep these emotional stories alive. Special request: comment kindness returns if you believe good deeds always find their way back. Thank you for watching and believing in humanity's quiet miracles.